Good morning. Unfortunately, I am not here for the in-person presentation, but I'm so grateful that I get to talk about John Racine and John Racine's Phèdre. So I'm going to start out with John Racine's background. John Racine was a male playwright born in 1639. He was orphaned at a very, very young age and was taken care of by his grandmother, and she helped him get educated by the members of Janism, and then he studied at Port Royal, where he was influenced and educated by the Janists, and then when he was an adult, he went on to study law. In his early career studying law, he fell in love with theatrical crowds and decided that he wanted to pursue theater, and the Janists strongly disapproved of theater. He is best known for Phèdre, 1667, which was not his first play, but his first play, Amaze, was purchased but never produced. Racine's famous works were really popular during that decade and during that time in the 17th century in France. John Racine befriended Molière at the time, who went on to produce a few of his shows, like Theoblade in 1664 and Andromache in 1667. Racine is known for his tragedies. They received so much attention, got so much love. John Racine, something that sticks out to me about him is that he always writes about female protagonists and focuses more on female psychology than male psychology. He actually rates the male characters as more sensitive, but he really focuses on throwing women into these situations and then taking us as an audience through what is going through their heads. He is also known for his other works, like Alexander the Great in 1665, Britannicus in 1669, and Phèdre 1667, Esther in 1689, and Athale in 1691. So Racine had a huge impact theatrically and not theatrically. So by the time 1677 rolled around, he was one of the only successful playwrights that was able to live off of what he had made from his plays. Although he was very successful, he made enemies along his journey, like Pierre Corneille, who wanted to destroy his career. Although he was successful, he didn't win any awards for his plays, but in 2001, a translation of Phèdre won an Oxford Translation Award. Racine was elected into the French Academy, and he then became a noble and a courtier. He was soon presented with the title of Treasurer of France in 1674 and worked for the king. I'm going to go over a short synopsis of Phèdre. It is so messy but so interesting. Phèdre is a married woman married to Theseus, who is seen as a great hero. And while he is away, she falls in love with her stepson, Hippolytus. She buries that feeling until she thinks her husband is dead, and then confesses her emotions to her son, who rejects her because she is the mother. He has feelings for another woman, and when she finds out that Theseus is alive and well, her maid makes up a lie that she is raped by Hippolytus, which causes Hippolytus to get banished by Theseus. He dies eventually, and then Phèdre's maid kills herself, and then Phèdre confesses everything and then kills herself. And then at the end, Theseus takes the woman that Hippolytus once loved and took over Phèdre. So there are a lot of highlights of Phèdre. One of them are the consequences of uncontrolled desires, all of the suicides that happened, the lying that took place from the maid, the power of emotions in his work, and the actions leading to consequences. And then yet again, I put the lie that Phèdre's maid told. And then obviously the consequences is that literally almost everyone dies except for Theseus and the woman. Reoccurring themes. There is themes of love, jealousy, betrayal, fate, catharsis, moral, and suicide. There is lots of significance and many reasons why we should all look deeper into both Phèdre and John Racine's work. Phèdre explores deep thought and emotion in the female mind. John Racine wrote a lot of female characters in his works and focused on their mental journey and processes through each situation that they were put in. They gained a lot of attention due to the fact that the show was about uncontrolled desires in human nature and the lack to control those desires. There were no current events at the time that had any ties to the play or its message, but the only thing that I could really think of at the top of my head is that this was created during a patriarchal society, and that these plays kind of broke that patriarchal society in a way, because this time we were focused more on the woman than the man and the woman's emotions, and yet again how John Racine really actually highlighted female emotions and wrote male characters as like less than. Why is this worth our attention? There's a lot of psychology behind the play, and it's actually very impressive for its time. The strong emotions and consequences, the lessons that Racine had tried to teach us with this play. We are human beings with human desires and emotions, and many audiences at the time and even now can relate to that. John Racine's theatrical impact. Phèdre, 1667, uses a poetic language that helps to express internal conflict. This is part of what made the play so successful. This language has inspired many generations of new playwrights, and the psychology and thought process we see in Phèdre really made the tragedy so popular. It became one of the most staged plays of all time. The work was strongly praised and even called the masterpiece of the human mind. Specific lines from the play even became sayings in French language that is still said today. And this is all of the work that I cited, because it's a works cited page. Yeah. Shout out to the people that wrote that. Happy holidays, and I hope you all enjoyed this little lesson about John Racine and Phèdre.